Welcome to Packmates, a show about Magic the Gathering Limited, where we take a deep dive into the current limited formats. The Packmates are a group of friendly card sharks that love drafting, hanging out, and going to F&M. I'm Ryan, the Demir apprentice.
Ooh. And I'm Andrew, the not going to F&M yet again Packmate.
And we are the Packmates! Oh, God, that was so much better.
Yeah, there was something different about that just made it so much better.
Yeah, that was fantastic, honestly. That was the best We Are the Packmates we've ever had.
Yeah, it's really good. I don't know what's changed.
Me neither. In other news, Roby's not here this week. He's had some prior commitments, so we're going to, do it without him this week. But he'll be back next week probably.
Yeah.
So...
So Ryan, you went to F&M. Roby was at F&M as well.
He was at F&M, yes.
And he, how many people at F&M tonight?
22.
That's pretty good. Growing community. Good to hear. Good to hear.
We had a full 8-person pod. It was great.
Good.
Gotta love that. And our F&M plays within pod. So.
Oh, that's good. Where was Roby at?
He's in my pod.
Oh, he was in your pod? No way.
Yeah, he'd been talking all this, not in my pod and all this, and then. I moved to his pod and
okay, all right.
We'll see what happens. I mean, who knows?
Well, you want to go down with your deck first, or shall we go with Roby's deck?
Oh, we can just kind of talk about both of them. We both drafted Demir. They're like fairly similar.
Ooh.
I think Roby's deck had a lot more bombs per se than my deck. He had Hitijitsu. We both had one invasion of Amonkhet, which is the bomb blue-black invasion that they mill 3. We both mill 3, you discard, I draw, and then it's a 4/4 that's like the best thing in any graveyard.
So you're saying an uncommon is a bomb here?
Oh yeah, that's like it's like a top 10.
First pick full? Did you?
Oh yeah, I did first pick.
You first picked it,
and I would do it again.
Nice.
We both also had an invasion of Eldraine. Those are like our only 2 invasions. That's the one that makes you discard 2, and then backside's like a 2/2 that pings them for 2 if they have less than 2 cards at the beginning of their hand, at the beginning of their upkeep. So saying 2 a lot. I feel like I'm Rick Ross.
All right.
He had a Protogenesis Exarch, which is the XX white incubate 3x times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that he went into a little bit of a Esper with the Wrath Weatherlight Stewart from way back in the day of Dominaria United.
Yeah, Wrath's fire.
Wrath's pretty fire, but this Progenitus Monarch, man, that thing could really take over a game too. You always forget about that tap transform ability on it too.
Yeah,
that can get you sometimes.
Yeah,
actually, it's gotten me a couple times. I had to beg my opponent to wind it back.
It's basically just a better Omen Hawker, right?
It was pretty good. My opponent did not wind it back.
Yeah.
They got me. They're like, bro, read your cards.
That's why you can't beg, because when they say no, you
please,
just like, God.
Please, Mr. Progenitor, don't transform your guy. Anyways, yeah, so he went into the white there. That's kind of nice.
Yep. And he had a Fairy Mastermind. That's a 2/1 flash flyer that when your opponent draws their second card, you get a draw card too.
Ooh, that one's pretty good. I remember, what was the guy from New Capenna who I thought he was kind of bad. He was a 1/1 flyer that had lifelink.
Oh, yeah.
And then he ended up being like actually good in that format.
Yeah, 1/1 flyer with lifelink for 2 that like let both people draw for 4.
Something Crier or something like that. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember his name.
Town Crier or whatever. Sky Crier. That seems about right. That's close enough. Close enough. Very mastermind Sky Crier.
But yeah, it's a 2/1 with flash flying, which is already good enough. And
now, I do see in Roby's deck, he's got 2 deadly diversions. And I see certain things absent from your deck. Yeah.
So the only deadly diversion I ever saw was in pack 1. And I'm like, I noted pack 1 because, I wanted to see what would wheel.
Of course.
So I mostly noted, the blue-black cards in it. So it had Invasion of Amonkhet, which I took.
Oh, so this was your first pack?
Pack 1, pick 1. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the only deadly division I saw the entire draft.
I can see why.
Pack 1, pick 1. Invasion of Amonkhet, Emoti, which is the green-blue Cascade 3/1 guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy's good.
Deadly Derision, and Assimilate Essence. And so basically I told myself that was like the only really playable Demir cards. And I said, like, Roby is taking Emoti if it's there, and if it's not, he's taking Deadly Derision.
Yeah.
He's like 2 down from me, right? Like 2 people between me and Roby. So like,
okay.
He's probably getting one of those 2 cards.
And after last week's podcast, I know that Roby's about to hard force Demir every time.
Yeah. I was hoping that I could foil his plans this week being upstream from him. Because like how many times do you get the chance to do that? Right?
Oh, man. It hurts. It hurts when Ryan passes to you. I can tell you from experience.
So I said, if Deadly Derision tables, which obviously that's not going to happen, or a Modi, or Assimilate Essence,
Yeah.
like I'm Demir.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Assimilate Essence tabled. And so here I am, Demir. Right? Like, I knew Roby was going to take one of those two. The guy in front of him ended up taking a Modi, so he got Deadly Derision. And then Assimilate Essence went through 4 people, which I think is like a very good blue common. That's the counter spell that unless they pay 4.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm just Demir then. Like, that's my like solid signal that like it's fine to do it. So that was the deal sealer. Like all the other picks, like I thought about, taking the 3/3 Vigilance Knight that gets +1/+1 whenever you play a knight.
Mm-hmm.
Or, there were some other cards. I was like, I have Amonkhet. Like Amonkhet makes this card better because I already have, Amonkhet.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, I'll really decide on pick 8 of that.
Oh,
Assimilate Wills. And it did. So
you didn't get, I see that Roby has a few more rares than you.
Yeah, I mean,
just the Rona there.
Pretty
just
good at opening packs, I guess.
It's a skill. It's not luck at all. It's a skill.
Rona got passed to me, actually.
Did it really?
Like a pick 3.
So you'd have had 0 rares if you didn't get past that Rona.
I mean, Invasion of Amonkhet should be a rare.
Well,
but yeah. Yep. So
oh man,
I only saw Rona once. Well, I played one game for fun and I saw it in that too. But
it's kind of interesting looking at these decks, the curve difference too. Like Roby has a really spike in that 2-drop curve. Really, I mean that Progenitor Exarch's really like a redrop, right? Like,
yeah.
You're not playing that on 1.
Right.
But he's got a solid. I mean, just everything is 2 there. And then I'm looking at your deck. Nice curve.
Thanks.
Like really, I mean, really, you got the 1s, 2s, 3s, and then you got some good 4s and a little bit of 5s up there, and 6 out the outlier, and then you have your nice land there. But I mean, really, like that 3. We've been saying that a while too in this podcast. That 3 slot is really like I remember you did the data 2 weeks ago.
Well, yeah, it was a little while ago.
And then, but you saw that really the curves are starting a little bit later in this format. And I think you really leaned into that here.
Yeah, I kind of just relied on Traumatic Revelation being my like 2-drop, right?
Yeah.
That's the look at their hand and make them discard a creature or battle. Or
How many of those do you have?
3. Three Traumatic Revelations. I didn't really ever have it on 2. Maybe 1 game out of all my games. Like it was fine. Like nobody was that aggressive, so
was it fine. Did you like strip any bombs from somebody's hand with that?
Yeah. I mean, mostly I just stripped next playables because I'm kind of late game. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I cast on 2 and next turn they're going to play, the 2/2 that makes another 2/2 knight. Like I'm going to strip that and then like we'll deal with the bigger stuff when it gets there.
Yeah.
But Invasion of Eldraine was like kind of disgusting. I felt bad because game 1, the dude mulled the 5 and then turn 4 I hit him, made him discard 2 cards and that's the old ball game. And then the next game I Traumatic Revelationed him and like it was just gross. Like Traumatic Revelation made him get rid of like his next play. Then he like played out his other 2 cards in his hand, and then I Throne of Eldrained him, and then he's top decking, and then like
dang,
put the guy that he had on the battlefield on top of his library, and all the while doing my own things. Like,
oh my gosh,
it was dumb.
I see the corruption of Tawashi there.
Insane in this deck.
It seems ridiculous with the amount of like incubation tokens you're making, and then the Omen Hawker, all-star Omen Hawker at hatching the incubation tokens. By the way, I mean that guy's. I think he's a little like undervalued sometimes. Like people really have him down on the list, but he's pretty good.
I wasn't gonna play him. Roby talked me into it.
How did he do?
He was fine. Like he flipped a couple incubate tokens and he jumped. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he was fine. I don't think like it was super necessary to have him, but it wasn't. It wasn't a detriment. Like he was probably card 22, 23, something like that.
Yeah.
Roby told me to take out Z-Rex Strobe Knight. That's a 2/2 flying vigilance. When you double spell, you can make a 2/2 knight. Made a couple knights and got some removal out of their hand with my 2/2 flying vigilance, and did some work on some battles.
That guy's a lightning rod. Like when he's there, people just don't want you to have extra creatures, and then it has vigilance.
Like you're Demir, so you already are just like every card in the deck is like giving you value somehow, right?
Yeah.
And then like on top of that, you're also getting 2/2 knights. That's stupid. Like you flip Invasion of Amonkhet with your 2/2 flyer because like of course you do. And then you cast one more spell from your hand because you cast the backside of the battle, and then you just make it 2/2 knight. It's like okay. It's dumb. It's real dumb.
Really ridiculous. Oh my gosh. I see something that we talked about last week when Roby and I talked about, actually. I see it in your deck this week. Halo Charge Scob.
Yeah, I haven't really played that a ton, and I kind of did this time.
Mm-hmm.
What card do you think I got back the most with Halo Charge Scam?
Probably the Isaac of Texas.
Yep, Isaac Ataxius. Yep.
Yeah.
Incubate 3, draw a card. Mostly just because of circumstance. Like, it was just there, and I didn't really have solid removal. Like, I had a temporal cleansing. I had Exile for 6, Merciless, repurposing.
Yeah, you have a Vanquish the week as well.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
You got 2 ephemeral Ephemera's dispersals as well.
Yeah, those are sick. Those were really good.
Those are pretty darn good.
Fun story about those. So I have Rona, have it flipped, right? It's a 5/5 trample.
Oh.
It was like a 2/1 death touch, Elvish Vat Keeper, and a couple other just like creatures. And his hand's empty. So like Rona's like doesn't do anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you block it. So he's at 8. I swing at him with Rona for 5. He's at the 2/1 death touch. He's like, okay, sweet. I can finally kill Rona, and he doesn't get any value out of it.
Yeah.
Psych, bounce your Elvish Vat Keeper. I'll exile that and play it, and then make a 4/4.
Oh no!
Disgusting.
Oh no!
Into next turn, Corruption of Tawashi, making it 8/8. Into just winning the game through value.
Oh my gosh!
It's like as somebody I'm pretty friendly with, I was like, you thought I was just gonna let you kill my I was just gonna let you kill my Rona with no consequences? Come on, man.
Oh man.
I know what Death Touch does.
That's real. Man. So what was the all-star in your deck? Is it just, it's really tough to choose one out of this like great pile here. I mean, my gosh, 2 preening champions as well.
Yeah, Invasion of Amonkhet was like super good.
Yeah.
Corruption, like when I played Corruption Tawashi, it was like super good. Everything was good. The only thing I have is like some of the worst cards, I guess.
Okay.
Which was Omen Hawker, which we talked about, which was fine. Like it wasn't terrible. The Oracle, what's it called? Oracle of Tragedy.
Oracle of Tragedy, yeah.
1/3, draw discard was fine. It didn't really
shuffle some cards into your deck as well.
Yeah, we don't care about that part. We're just gonna draw and discard.
Well, it's kind of cool that it triggers twice, though. You get it when it comes to play, and you get it when it dies.
Yeah, it's like a little Goblin Looter that's a 1/3 blocker. Like that was probably this other worst card in my deck, but like my deck didn't really have too many weak spots, I feel like.
I don't think so. Looking at this looks like a freaking 3-0 deck to me.
Yep, it was 3-0.
Oh man,
it did pretty good.
Very nice.
I was gonna ask you what you thought the weak spots are, but like, I mean, I got the 2 preening champions pack 3, which I was pretty lucky to get that.
Oh, nice. That's pretty good.
I didn't have a ton of solid, like super hard removal, but I had like enough interaction to where I could just eventually outvalue. And
how was Vanquish the week? I feel like it's kind of weak.
It's good, but it depends. So I used it twice tonight on those little Phyrexian flip guys that like they pay, 6 mana to flip their 1/3 Herbology Instructor, and then in response, Vanquish. And it's basically like Time Walk when that happens, right?
Yeah.
But like in a deck like this, that's like super value and late game oriented, it felt pretty necessary. Every game I drew it was live. I mean, it had lots of good targets. Cleared the way for flyers a few times. Like it did its thing. It was definitely, if I had to pick between like that or cleansing, it would be tough, honestly. And cleansing was very good too.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. This looks, it's very solid. This is like when you look up a Demure deck online, this is what you want to see. It may be a couple of rares, but like even those rares are just like, look how the synergy with this deck is just so good.
Yeah, the deck was just insane.
Yeah,
like, it was just I never ran out of cards. I almost like felt bad for playing it because it was so dumb.
It was a good.
I literally 2-0'd everyone, and like it was never close.
They still got the record, right? Have you lost a game in this format yet?
If you don't count Minneapolis, then no.
Oh wait.
I am undefeated at the local comic shop, though.
You're undefeated in the state of Kansas.
Yes.
Very defeated.
Online in Minneapolis. Pretty defeated, but
pretty defeated.
Big fish, small pond. It works out sometimes.
I don't know. There's something's been different about these FNMs. I don't know what it is. Somebody hasn't been there for a while.
Oh yeah, I'm getting ducked all over.
I'm coming for you in 2 weeks.
We'll see. We'll see.
I'll see my return in 2 weeks.
We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ascend the mountain. But Roby's deck, I don't know. I looked at it I keep looking at it, and I keep wondering like what his record was. And my initial thought was 2-1. But now I'm thinking it was a 1-2.
You think it was a 1-2? He's got Hitijitsu, the best bomb in the format.
I understand that, but there's
an invasion. What's he doing wrong? Tell me that. What's he doing wrong?
I just think that white splash is just kind of greedy.
The white splash is a little bit greedy for the I get splashing, but like you're splashing for like 2 cards that are like incidental value.
Yeah.
You're not splashing for anything that's irreplaceable. Like Protogenitor Exarch is basically Eyes of Gataxias.
I could get behind that, yeah.
Right? Like a 1-2 that incubates 3 is almost the same as drawing a card and incubating 3, right?
Yeah. I just feel like Raph's a little tough because you really want Raph like early. You don't want Raph.
Yeah, the late game board pump with like the unblockable. Like I feel like he is kind of trying to be a little cute, maybe.
I think so.
I feel like he has very solid cards. I don't know. I know he says he's really high on the rat. I didn't see any of the rats. That's the 1/1 for 2 that makes you discard. And I'm sure it's better with like Invasion of Eldraine. You make him discard 1 and then you get him later.
But like the Cryptomancers are pretty decent in this deck too. You can protect the champion, you can protect the Halo Forger, and you can protect your Hitagetsu as well.
Yeah, I like those. I was hoping to table them, but they just didn't come.
Yeah, they seem pretty strong. And then just like even getting your fairy mastermind there. Just a couple of the early things to try to double spell. Or not well, actually it's your opponent who double spells and then you get the thing.
Yeah.
But
well, they draw, but you can make them draw and then you get a draw. So you can pay for it to draw 2. That's pretty basically.
Good. I mean, his removal is pretty darn good too with 2 deadly. I don't know. I feel like the 1-2. I'm gonna say 1-2. Locking it
in. Before we move on too far, do you think that the rat is better than Traumatic Revelation?
Ooh,
so the rat's the
tough.
1/1 that makes them discard. So you get their worst card, but you get a body, right? And they get a pick. Or you get to look at their hand. If you pick.
Yeah.
Or you get a body, but not both.
If this was any other format, I would have said the rat all day.
Sure.
But now, having known and seen this format, I played a bit of it too online. I think maybe the Traumatic Revelation is actually better.
Yeah, I think like against most matchups, I think the Traumatic Revelation is better. I think against the aggro matchup, the rat's probably better.
Rat's definitely better.
And aggro's your weakest matchup, right?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can really get that Oracle of Tragedy and things like that to just gum up the board and while you're scooping them up with like Isaac Ataxis and stuff like that to really just like you're not getting past this.
Yeah. Isaac Ataxis just like halts.
I just think that the information you get from Traumatic Revelation is really good too.
It's huge. Like I liked it a lot. I'm kind of leaning to where like I like it more than the rat.
3 copies more.
Yeah, well, I didn't see any rats, so like, and I haven't played like a super rats Dimir deck, and I'm sure with like Tetsuko or whatever, the 1/3 that makes stuff unblockable, like maybe the rats get like a little bit better because you have your invasion.
Yeah, you can kind of do that. It's kind of cute.
But like, stalling, like making them miss their turn 3 play is so sick, or their turn 4 play, or it's way better than just like chumping once, right?
Like stripping a battle out of their hands pretty good too.
Yeah, like it also like is better against Dimir, right? Because like if you can get invasion out of their hand,
oh man,
Halo Forager, or all the praining champion, like it kind of like really puts a kink in their plans. I think it's better. Personally.
I think it might be in a bomb laden format like this, like you just want to be stripping those bombs out of their hands, or you just need to know what's coming up too.
Yeah. And then late game incubating 3 like felt fine.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty decent payoff. It's better than the rat.
Yeah, looking at their hand, seeing a Sunfall, and saying, "Well, I guess I'm never flipping this guy until they cast Sunfall."
Ooh,
but the rat late game, the rat late game can still hit stuff, but like most people are gonna hold a land if you're in black, right? Like
if you get,
yeah, sure.
I'd be holding lands like crazy, man.
Like once you're like, say your curve ends at 6 or 7 or whatever. Once you're at 7 lands, you just hold 1, and then if you draw your second one, then you can play the 1. Like if you're worried about it, like double. Like maybe you have a bunch of draw where you could like double spell or something. But most of the time, 7, 8 lands is plenty, and then you're just way scary with a bunch of cards in your hand. But then there comes a point where like this is just holding lands, so then you have to like play a land. You're like, no, I'm playing all my lands, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So what was the record?
1-1-1.
I knew it. I was close on that one. I should have known tie. I should have known tie. I should have just said tie.
I think he might have, like, if they played a little quicker and like he had a couple more turns.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have tied. So I think he would have been like 2-1.
I just don't know where it went wrong.
Like I don't know if my deck beats his deck though.
I don't know.
Looking at it, like he has better removal, he has better bombs, better ingredients, better pizza.
Yeah, not a sponsor.
No. Maybe one day. Talk to us, Papa. But like I think, Traumatic really kinks him up quite a bit, but his deck seemed good. He said my deck was really good, and at first I was like, it kind of just looks like a pile of like mid blue-black commons, but it was really good.
This is the kind of stuff you see, though. I'm pointing at your deck. For the people who can't see what I'm pointing at, like it's the kind of example you see on like a 17 lands deck where they got a 3-0 trophy or trophy decks where they have these just really good, just solid common, uncommon decks with just like 1 or 2 rares. Like Luis Scott Vargas's deck over the Pro Tour weekend where it looked exactly like this, where it was like sub out Rona for the Phyrexian guy, and this is basically the same deck. I mean, really, like the nuts and bolts of it is there.
Yeah, it felt insane. I mean, it didn't feel like I was ever threatened to lose a game.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I did almost lose to Sunfall. Like there was a point, like I committed to the board. I saw it was in his hands. I kept some like incubate tokens not flipped, but like saw the pressure, right? So he cast it.
Oh yeah.
And then he got like like an 8/8 off of it.
Oof.
He had 3 dudes, I had 5 dudes. So
oh my gosh.
He got an 8/8 off of it, X out everything, and then I had a 3/3. I played the scabs, I had a 4/4. The turn he played it, he had exactly 5, so he couldn't flip the dude. And then I hit him for 3, put him at like 6. And then I just got him off of combat math, like he swung, hoping I'd block, and I just took it. And
I was just hoping you'd ephemeral dispersal it to like get it out of my board.
He had I saw his hand because like I had the 3/3 because Dramatic Revelation, and he had the hexproof, like don't take damage from red or black cards. I was like, this is going to be a nightmare.
Fair enough, yeah.
And so I basically only won because
when you see that cryptomancer in there or whatever, the hexproof guy, you're just like, I just hope I can bait this out at some point.
Get rid of it.
Yeah, it's like, come on. It was like, when are you going to take the bait? And then if they have like good restraint, you're like, oh, you're trying to kill your guy. There's like, okay, let it happen. And it's like, damn you. Damn you for keeping that cryptomancer in your hand.
Yeah, are you like dummy into blocks? Like, I have a 2/2, you have a 2/2. Like, I'm gonna swing at you.
Yeah.
Hopefully you block and just put a counter on.
I'm just attacking with this 2/2 for no reason.
Well, oh me.
Whoa, I forgot what card you had in your hand. Oh man.
Yeah, but it was fun. It was good. I mean, my deck is good. Roby's deck I think was good. I think he did kind of lose at a time. He had a lot more expensive cards, I think, than I had. Like he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 9 cards that cost more than 3, where I had like 4, 5.
The old megaphone or the bugle, like curve there. I mean, really, just bunch of 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, 6s. I mean, you got this guy's pretty good. The Gloomfang Marauder.
Is he?
Oh,
is he?
So I still see you're hating on the land cyclers.
I'm playing 17 lands. Why do I need more lands?
He's a good guy. This dude, he's hanging out there.
My friend said he was a scumbag.
Oh man.
He's fine. Like he's fine. Like what? Like wouldn't you rather have like a corruption of Tawashi? Like a lot.
Yeah, of course.
Like a Halo charge scab, like a lot. Like those are just
he's like a last. He's like a 20. He's like a 22nd.
Yeah, like he's like pretty cool if you can like invasion of Amonkhet and like put 2 counters on something and give it menace, and then you have a 4/4 menace, and it's like cute, but like I don't know.
Like the guy's riding the bench until he gets in. I guess what was the other thing too? There was something interesting that changed the equation in Roby's deck.
I think that was a sideboard.
Oh, okay, it was a sideboard. Okay, that makes more sense.
But like, why do we need Why do we need to swamp cycle when we have Oracle of Tragedy, Rona, Two Eyes of Gataxias, Halo Charge Scab, Corruption of Tawashi, Invasion of Amonkhet? Like, what am I like? When am I not hitting my lands ever? You know what I mean?
This is true, and you also had the Scorn Blade Berserker as well.
Yeah,
I forgot about that guy. That guy's an all-star too, man. That guy draw 2 cards.
Yeah,
That's good.
especially when he makes a 2/2 knight. He's real good.
That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good.
Him and Omenhawker,
Oh
stars
my
at making 2/2 knights. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Oof,
Yeah.
man.
The Z-Rex was like whatever, but I thought it was good. Like it made a couple knights and then took like a removal spell. And so that's good enough.
I'm better than that, man. Jeez.
But yeah, decks
Yeah.
were good. Like Roby's, I feel like his 2-drops are like hyper mid. Like if anyone had like a 2/2, he doesn't have a way to efficiently deal with it until turn 4. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so that's rough. Like he had a Raph, I guess, but he's not playing Raph on 2 ever, right? Because he
No.
only has 3 planes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but-
So when you're not demurring, what are you trying to do?
oh gosh.
Because clearly both of you have gone demure. You guys were sitting at the same table, 2 people away, and that's enough. That's enough distance where you guys could have probably been in the same deck, and you probably should be.
Like-
but like, what are you doing when you can't get this deck? This beautiful, beautiful deck.
if there's a third person in Demir, maybe one of us doesn't win. Like maybe.
Very
Like,
possible.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
obviously there's some people in blue, some people in
Yeah.
black, like whatever. There's some decks that I want to do
All right.
for science.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
For science.
All right. What do you got?
One that I really want to do is blue, red, splash green for Modi
Mm.
with convoke dragons and things that would let you
Oh.
cascade that you can convoke with like all the free like rouse reinforcements and the blue red guy. And
That's pretty good.
yeah, so that's one that I'm always kind of looking for to like, sabotage my draft and make me lose some games. I think the equipment deck can be like kind of free in some high ELOs. Like there's like the 3/2 guy that makes 3/1s when he's equipped. There's the red white guy that gives all your equipped creatures double strike. There's the flash equipment that costs 1. There's
Yeah.
the beat stick. And all those cards are like super available late.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Oh,
and if
yeah,
they're
no,
not,
like-
then you just don't do it.
Yeah. They
right.
just table. Like
Yeah.
freely table.
Yeah, especially the like Valduck, the 3/2 that whenever something's equipped, you get a 3/1, and the red white guy that's like your equipped stuff gets double strike. Those are bottom 3 cards of a pack.
Yeah.
A lot of drafts. So like,
Yeah.
can it be done?
I think it could. I think as the format goes on, you're probably even more as more people jump on the Demir train or something else, or the Knights train.
Yeah,
You're more likely to get those kind of. Man, just red is just so bad.
I like it. I like it. People just don't do it right.
Except unless you're mono red, because apparently that is a high win percentage.
People pass Invasions of Mercadia, and it's like, God, that card is so
pretty
good.
nuts. That's
But I don't know. Like I've had a lot of success online with Boros, and that's been fun. Like backup.
nice.
But I feel like that really puts you to the test gameplay wise.
Oh yeah.
Not as much deck building, but it is like, when do I swing? How do I swing? Like, what
Yeah.
do I put counters on? How do I squeeze every point of damage through? Because if
Oh,
I
yeah.
wait for them to resolve corruption and Tawashi, I'm going to
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the 2 decks that I am really trying to do. I think I'm hoping to get a trophy with the red, blue, splash green for Modi, but Modi's like getting too popular, so I probably won't.
Yeah. Roby's been singing his Modi's praises for a while.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good. I played it a couple times in my green blue decks, and just
Imagine it's like
it just does so good.
having 4 dudes and cascading like
Oh,
a 4/4 flying haste dragon into like anything.
You just know it's over. Like you just
Yeah.
know. Double spelling in this format like that is just so backbreaking.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
For sure.
Man, yeah, I've been trying to live out my blue green fantasies. Every time I draft, I'm just like, I'm doing it again. I'm gonna run it back, and it's been pretty good. Like I did trophy with one of them, which was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like blue green. I think
Yeah.
you have to splash with it. Like, I think
It's kind of weak, but it's kind of weak on its own. But you
Yeah.
get all of it's more blue than green.
you can do like a ton of
Like,
degenerate stuff with corruption and Tawashi with it, and like go to
yeah.
Value Town for sure. Like it can outvalue a
Yeah, you
Demir
just
deck.
bury
if
them
you're-
in cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
How do I play around a board wipe?
Oof.
I'm always the beatdown. Like not always, but
Yeah.
like even my my Demir decks have board presence,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm usually the beatdown.
Yeah.
Say game 2, I saw my opponent's board wipe game 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 out of 40 cards in their deck.
It is.
Am I supposed to assume that they have it?
I think you gotta hold back a little bit. You gotta just a smidge hold back. I don't think you need to go full bore because if they have it again, you're just gonna die on the spot. And I think you gotta hold just like maybe 1 or 2 cards back. You don't have to full commit everything.
What about every turn you give them extra though?
Yeah,
there's another chance for them to get it.
it is true. It is true. It's true. But man, you can just keep whittling them down too. There's another school of thought where you just don't commit that much to the board, and then you just keep whittling them down until they have to use it as a removal spell if they haven't drawn anything. But that takes a lot of knowledge. That takes a lot of trimatic revelations to look at their hand and try to start sculpting that thing. Or if you saw enough in game 1 to kind of see like this is kind of their removal package and this is what they have, and then you can kind of tell whether or not you can hold back a little bit more, or you could just go full bore into there. If they're really light on removal and you really only saw the board wipe, probably just go full send and just try to race them out.
I think it depends on the matchup, which obviously, right? But like,
Yeah.
if you're the beat down deck, you're the aggro deck, your curve stops at 3.
Yeah.
And you're just full go.
Oh, you got no reason to.
You can't.
You can't. Yeah, it's just the way your deck's built. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna lose to that card every time anyway. So you might as well just keep playing as though they don't have it.
Hope that they don't draw it, right?
But if you're like a mid-range deck,
yeah, where you can maybe outvalue them.
Yeah, exactly. You can start getting some incremental stuff. And it's like how you said earlier too. You were talking about your recap of how you played, and you saw the removal spell in their hand.
Yeah.
And so you're like, ooh, okay. Well, I gotta not hatch these tokens yet, or I gotta maybe hold back this. And you just put enough pressure there where they're like, fine, I guess I have to do it now.
Yeah.
And it's just disadvantageous for them, like with that person, you were saying that they couldn't even flip the token. And then so you were like, great, untap, my turn, flip them, attack you.
Yeah. When they have it, like he was mana starved on planes, like he only had 1 planes.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I had a really big decision to like basically like flip my dudes full swing and put them at like 3 life.
Mm-hmm.
But I have 4 lands in my hand and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Or I give him like a 3 turn clock where he chumps, he gets some guys. Like he had the 1/2 that like when it dies it incubates or whatever.
Yeah.
He chumps, he draws the planes. Eventually, like he's gonna draw it because he's 2-color deck and he's gonna draw within like 2 turns max.
Oh yeah.
And but he's gonna get it. You know what I mean? Like, do I give him 1 turn to do it and in the game, or do I be safe and like knowing that like he also can protect his 8/8 that he has because he has hexproof.
Yeah.
Like I know that like I have 4 cards in my hand. They're literally all lands, and if he does flip it and like I don't draw bodies, I'm gonna lose.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, it worked out. So I don't know. Like it's just a weird line to toe. It's like if you think you can get them with playing conservative, I think that's the answer. But like if you're iffy on it,
I think you're right though. If your deck is just pure aggro and that's your role in there, you have to just keep going. There's no other way. There's no other way to win the game other than just aggroing them out.
Yeah, when you're the aggro deck, you like there's very few things you can afford to play around.
Yeah,
and like they have to be like things that are common enough that you like and you've seen already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So when you're the aggro deck, you just turn yourself sideways and say like, you block it, you have a pump, like sure.
Yeah.
But, like I'm still doing 4 damage to you, and that's fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. With mid range and late game decks, like if they have the late game and the board wipe, and you're a mid range deck, I still think you have to commit and like try to end the game faster.
Oh yeah.
Right. But
nice.
I don't know. It was just a weird thing. I'm never fully sure on what to do, but it works out sometimes. I just Mr. Magoo my way.
Your way through. It's like, oh, look at this. I've got this.
Most of the time, turning your thing sideways is enough to make them say, like, I guess I'll just take it because you're half full mana and I'm tapped out. Yeah. You can sneak. You can just sneak.
How are you winning all these matches?
You can just sneak so much stuff.
Oh my gosh!
And then like eventually they get tired of it because they know you just don't have anything. But then the time that they do double block, you do have it. It's like, yeah. Always had it. Always had it, bro.
And they have to respect you the rest of the game. Yeah. It's like this guy always has it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I notice a lot of people also don't like risk analysis in the eyes of their opponent.
Oh heck no.
When they swing. So like one situation that came up today is I had a Xerex Knight 2/2. The dude has a 1/2 that you can pump for 2 that when it dies incubates, the red guy. And and a 2/2 thrashing frontline when it attacks the battle gets a +1/+1 and trample.
Oh yeah, that guy's good.
That's the whole board. Dude like doesn't really swing. Like, am I ever like? Is it like? Am I ever? And I'm tapped out. You know what I mean? Like, am I ever blocking with my knight there?
Fear of that knight is just so.
But like, and even if I do, like, why are you not okay with like trading either one of these two guys for a knight? You know what I mean?
It's people not knowing their role, man. You
It's
never know. It's a game of like I'm defending, you're attacking. You know, who's the attacker, who's the defender, who's the beatdown, who's this, who's the who's taking the beating.
Yeah, it's that, but it's also like every point of damage you leave on the board that you didn't take when you could have taken it.
Oh yeah,
makes the game exponentially harder for you to win.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Every time you get someone to 3 and they turn the game around, think back and you probably could have found 3 damage somewhere.
That's
a
real.
lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Don't leave damage on the table.
So every piece of damage you leave on the table, and then even if you don't have anything, like, and you're seeing the board and you're seeing the game slip, like you have to, like, why not just go down swinging? Like, why not go down on attack instead of just like slowly chumping your way to like a 7-minute loss? You know what I mean? Like, they swing at you, say, sure, take it, and then you just crack them back. Like,
you crack them back. Yeah.
I don't know. That's just, I see a lot of people squander boards away and don't know how to like break through boards and stuff. And I feel like that's one of the hardest things to do in Magic.
Yeah.
And it's a super important skill, but like all you have to do is think like, if I'm you, what would I do right now?
Yeah.
Right. So you swing, you just envision yourself swinging and you say, if I'm my opponent, how would I block this swing?
Yeah.
What cards could I possibly have in my hand for 1 red, 1 green, or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, and like people aren't okay for some reason losing their 2/2 to a buff. Like, I don't care if you kill my 2-drop with the buff, please do, because then you're not hitting me for 7 in the air with like, you're not convoking and giving your 5/5 +2/2 and flying and doming me for game. Like, kill my 2/2 with it. That's completely fine. And like, also next time I'm just gonna save up.
Yeah.
Vanquish the week, and next time you do it, I'm gonna get 2 for 1 you. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. It's fine to lose cards for science sometimes. Like, even if your opponent like is trying to be scary.
There's been some times I've thrown away a guy just on the off chance. I was like, I'll swing with my 2/2 into your stuff, and they're like,
yeah,
block, and I'm like, all right, you caught me.
Yeah.
Like, you got my bluff. All right, great.
Yeah,
and then now I can't do it again. Or you do it again the next time, and then they're like, well, surely he can't. He's bluffing again.
Yeah. Like, I've tried to build a reputation that like I'm gonna block it every time and I'm gonna make you have it, because like
that is true.
If I have a 2/2, and I feel like, I mean, you could correct me if I'm wrong, if that's not my reputation.
That's definitely your
fine.
reputation. I bank on that reputation, sir.
I'm giving no free buckets. I'm Shaq standing there waiting for you to come, and I'm batting it away, and you have it or you don't. I have a 2/2. You have a 2/2, I have a 1/3. It's inconsequential for you if I block. And if I do block and then you like use a card to kill my 1/3, that's like just as good as like my 1/3. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if you use a card to kill my 1/3. Like, you're just using a card to like kill a nothing creature. So.
Oh man. Jeez.
You know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean.
Most people don't think that way. Most people are like, well, I have a 2/2 and you have a 2/2 and they're both 2/2s. So like, if you block, that's like bad for me, but it's like, it's bad for me too, dog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like, we're both losing here, bro.
And you have all your mana up. So am I gonna block? Probably not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Especially if my 2/2 is much more valuable than yours, because it's flying in vigilance and makes tokens, and yours is just like,
that's the other thing too, when you're just like a high value creature trying to trade with a low value creature, and you're like, these aren't equal. These aren't equal trades. Like, this guy's getting through every time. You know, just a vanilla 2/2 guy just getting in there, just like, no, I'm not gonna trade my like good like Rowan or something with your guy. Screw that crap. That ain't happening.
Right. And then sometimes, you know, you play a series of 3 and you can do some stuff for science. You can fill some things out. You got one to give. You know what I mean?
What do you just send the like, I'm fully tapped out, send it in?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
Like, it depends on like my EV and if I think I'm gonna win or lose or not. But like, if I like, you know, it's turn 3 and I'm looking at my hand and there's 5 lands in there and you've already played 2 cards. I'm like, oh God, this is gonna be a tough game. Like, let's see how you see if you block my 2/2 with your 3/3 when you're tapped out and I'm not. In the next game, I'm gonna do it again, and guess what? Like, I'm gonna have something, or I'm just gonna know that I can sneak stuff on you. You know,
for science.
Do you not do that?
Oh,
yeah,
totally
you have to, right?
I totally do, man.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to. Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
There's been times I've had like 3 lands in hand, and then I finally drew the spell that was actually like gonna pump my guy or something like that, and they let it through like 3 times, 2 times, whatever. And then so finally they're like, all right, I'm gonna block it. I'm like, there it is.
Yep.
And then they just respect it for the
yeah.
Dang.
And they're like, I guess I'm taking 2 till I'm at 2, and then I guess I'll block it. Like,
yeah, exactly. Thanks for giving me time to draw the spell that you know I had. Wink, wink.
And just because they have it once doesn't mean they have it again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, but I always have it again.
You say that, but I'm gonna let you have it to kill a tutu. Like I don't care about the tutu. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta get tutus.
If I got a 3/3 and you got a 2/2 and you swing into it, I'm gonna block it. And then if you spend 2 cards trying to kill the 3/3,
Yeah.
that's a risk on your part too. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
I don't know.
True.
I once heard someone say, I don't remember who it was, but if you only ever use the cards that you actually have, you make it way harder to win a game of Magic.
That's pretty good.
Like you have to represent and do things that make it look like you have like other cards, right? Like you have to like leave up a blue mana to say like I have a counter spell.
Yeah.
You have to leave up a red mana to say I have a shock, right? Like
Of course.
stuff like that. So you have to not only project, like you not have to only save up mana for your cards, but you kind of have to like incept the like that you have something into their mind.
Of course, yeah.
And part of that is by like how you swing and how you block. And if you swing with something and I block with 3 things and you like have a buff, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
like
I always like it when I bluff a counter spell because I gotta you gotta really set that up over a bunch of turns. Like I'm deliberately leaving 2 mana open with 1 blue mana.
yeah.
Or, 3 mana with this blue mana every time. And just like, okay, nothing else. All right, good. Pass. Great. My turn. All right,
Yeah.
pass again.
I mean, yeah. I deliberately I mix my lands up in front of me and then I deliberately tap my lands and I kind of make a show of it. Like I'm like, this is what like I have up.
Yeah.
Right here. Like I have a swamp and an island up. What could I have? I could have so much stuff.
You're just gonna go the extra mile and put like the lands up a little bit and be like, I want to keep these 2. I'll tap all of these and pull them back. Like really make the spectacle of it.
Yeah, depending on how analytical like the dude I'm playing is. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll even be like, I'll mistap a little bit, and then before I cast, I'm like, oh no, I need to keep this one up. You know what I mean? And switch it out. And it's like it's all just part of the show, baby. It's all smoke and mirrors. I'm sitting there with 5 lands in my hand.
This guy's winning Oscars here.
But I don't know. I think like you can't just rely on your cards to win games. Like
Yeah.
you have to evaluate board states. You have to do an EV from your opponent's perspective. You have to know when to swing, and you have to know like what like sequencing your cards. Like that's hard for newer players to do. Or
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough thing to do even for the experienced players sometimes. It's just it comes with reps.
yeah,
Comes with reps in the game and knowing all the cards.
like a lot of people see a
Was it
Scorn Blade Berserker
Mhm.
in their opening hand. They'll play it on turn 1.
Yeah.
Like why? What does that do for you on turn 1? Really?
loses you a card? It loses you a card, like really, because this guy's really draw 2 on him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
He says draw 2, or he says like put a 1/1 counter on something, draw a card.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And chump something.
Yeah.
What's a 1/2 do for you in the current limited format? Nothing.
Nothing really.
Nothing.
Nothing. There's nothing.
He just he gets 2 points of damage in, maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah.
If they have a bunch of 3/1s, that could be decent.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he just chumps and draws you a card. If you play him turn 7, what does he do? Chumps and draws you a card.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
but the 1/1 counter that you put on your printing champion is a lot more
Oh yeah.
effective. But all the time, people are like, okay, Scorn Blade Berserker, I have a 1 drop. I'm gonna play it on 1.
Yeah.
But just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something, right?
Yeah. Of course.
I like to think like the easiest way I like to explain it to like newer players, like why do anything until you have to do it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Of course.
But that gets confusing with aggro and whatnot. But
Well, aggro's a different kind of beast, though. I mean, you really need to just go all out there and that's what the deck's built for. You really just you have to get underneath all these things, and that's what it's there for. It's really tuned. Those are always really hyper tuned, actually.
yeah, you win most of your aggro games in the drafting portion of the
Oh gosh, yeah.
of the thing, and you win most of your control games in the playing portion, and you win most of your mid range games in both, right?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling, but that's like a skill that I see people missing sometimes.
All right.
Do you agree? Do you play
I
cards like at
definitely-
the last minute? Isn't that? Don't you think that's the best time to play cards?
It's when I need to play them.
Yeah, you just wait
the
till you
last
need
possible
to.
moment I need to play them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I've passed back turns like crazy. This week I was playing some Pauper, and I had the most patience and skill in this game, knowing that I knew that my opponent was playing a combo deck, and I had very surgical tools to destroy this combo deck. But I was just holding up mana, like I just beat down with a 1/1 when my opponent duressed me, so they saw all the cards in my hand, and I'm sitting there like, don't even want to play this 2/2. because I need to keep my mana open. And he's like, wow, you made this game almost impossible to play. Like,
Yeah.
it was tough because I just knew that you had a removal spell sitting in your hand because I had to rest you. And 2, you've had this grip of cards in your hand.
Yeah.
And now you're just keeping mana open all the time. It's very hard to maneuver around that.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool sub game that he got by like duressing me because he's like knew that what I had in my hand. And so he's like, oh shoot, now I got to play around your hand. And this dude's just like sitting there like a stone.
Like, you have to make them use it though. Like, right? Like,
yeah, eventually they tried to break off the combo and I was like, all right, good, got it, done. I waited this whole time for that.
yeah, but you have to make them use it somehow, right? They're going to use it when it matters.
Yeah, I mean,
They're never going to tap out and not have it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they lose the game. There's one way they lose the game, and that's they tap out.
Yeah.
So get out of their hand and then try again, right? Like, go down swinging. But
that's good.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway though is like, if you're ever going to play something, like ask yourself like why you're doing this. So does this help you win, or is this like, am I just doing it because it's there? And if you're just doing it because it's there, A, why is it in your deck? And B, you probably should be waiting on it.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yep.
Good stuff, man.
Is that all we got?
I think that's all we got today.
All right. We'll catch you boys next week.
Yeah.